Hey everyone, welcome to this beginner's course class 8. Today we will focus on tapas, which is one of the yoga philosophy teachings. And tapas means discipline or austerity, or that burning inner fire and passion and discipline. So this is actually key in my practice these days because I kind of know what's good for me now, and I know what my body tells me is good or not for me, like foods or getting sunlight and nature and movement and yoga every day, or just making conscious choices in everyday life about actions and experiences that support my well-being. But it's always about actually doing it and cutting through, and even if it feels uncomfortable. For instance, if you want some chocolate at night and you know your tummy doesn't like it, or sometimes it's about the amount or dosage, so maybe a little bit is good for you, but then not too much. Or the opposite, eating too little sometimes or too healthy. It could be alcohol, knowing how that affects the body and maybe giving nerves on the day after. So cutting down or cutting out alcohol, promoting sleep, going to bed early. Or it could be also about saying no to events or old friends that don't really support you anymore or lift you and cheer you up. Or the opposite, actually cutting through and making time for old friends or family. That can be a bit difficult, but you know it's the right thing to do. So you have all these things, and with relation to yoga and the practice, it's about getting on the mat or moving at least every day, even those days you don't want to. So yeah, tapas is a key yoga philosophy teaching in life. So let's get started. Find a comfortable seated position wherever you are. And landing here and now, letting go of everything that happened earlier and all that will come, and tune into the moment that's new every new moment, really. Your body, your hormones, your blood, your breathing, your feelings, the light, everything changes every moment. So tuning into this ever-changing moment. And we'll start with a sound meditation today. So tuning into the ears, closing the eyes if you want to, following sounds passively so they come to you. At first you might hear the loud sounds, construction work or phones ringing. Try to also observe how that affects your body and mind. Does it trigger a feeling? Do you become irritative or angry or happy to be distracted from whatever you're doing? That can also be the case. And then, without judgment, bringing yourself back to the meditation, to the sounds. After a while, maybe you'll notice the more subtle tones, your own breath, heartbeat, sound of the moving body. And just let it flow. No need to control anything. Shifting in and out of the sounds. And when the thoughts wander to the past, to the future, or analysis of the present moment, gently, without judgment, bringing yourself back to the meditation. So in this way, meditation promotes focus and peace, inner peace and quiet. And it's kind of like this with everything, such as physical exercise or yoga, the physical yoga. The more we practice, the more automatic it becomes in the body. So I highly encourage to do a little bit of breathing and focused attention every day. And if it feels uncomfortable for you at any time, just bring yourself back to the room, to orientation, open the eyes, maybe have something physical that you are comfortable with, you know, a thing, piece of jewelry, a dog, or the lighting, whatever brings you back to the space and time you're in, often feels safe. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll tune into the breath. So counting to 4 on the inhale and 4 on the exhale. And connecting the sound, the ocean sound, for Ujjayi breath. So we're constricting the vocal cords. And at rest, the exhalation is a passive process. The nerves stop firing to the diaphragm, and then the muscle fibers release and relax. And because we have increased pressure within the belly, and you have the liver and intestines and everything, that pushes the diaphragm back up to its neutral position again. And with that, increasing the pressure within the thorax and the lungs. And since that pressure is higher than the pressure in the atmosphere, that results in pushing the air out. Because the air flows to wherever there's less pressure, you know, Boyle's law, that's called. But when we do Ujjayi breathing and counting to 4 on the exhalation, that's an active process. We're releasing a little bit of tension in the diaphragm throughout the whole out breath. So we're not emptying everything the first second, but we're trying to release a little bit at a time until it's all out. And then we do a new inhalation, counting to 4, and then exhale, counting to 4. So this kind of breath through the nose with the sound promotes heat, and we cleanse the air and we moisten it and we heat the air through the nose. You know, it's a longer pathway with more moisture and hair and everything. And you have these small vessels inside the nose that contribute to heating up the air before it reaches back in the pharynx and the throat. So it's a more healthy way to breathe. And the sound adds focus, so we don't get as easily distracted, because the yoga practice is about, you know, stilling the thoughts and quieting the mind. So that's the breath. And then we have the drishti, which is the sight, to promote even further focus and safety in the practice. So now try to open the eyes, or if you have them closed, that's fine too. And focus on somewhere in front of you. You know, it's not a specific point where you really focus the muscles around your eyes. They're supposed to be relaxed and at peace and, a smooth gaze. Or if you have your eyes closed, then see if you can just have a hint about thinking about your third eye in between the eyebrows. So it's not that you're actually pointing the eye straight to that and focusing on that point in real life, because then your eyes will get tired, but it's kind of like a hint of thinking that way. So then we have the gaze. And then the last triangle of this focused Trishtasana, as we call it in Ashtanga Yoga, is the root lock or Mula Bandha. So that's a gentle pull at your pelvic floor. And you don't have to pull it up all the time. That's exhausting and counterproductive. But try to see if you can engage and just a slight pull up at your pelvic floor for this stability and integrity in the posture. So you have the Ujjayi breath, the Drishti, the gaze, and the Mula Bandha, the root lock. Now see if that made a difference to the breathing and to the presence. For many, they find that it helps them staying here and not drifting away in, daydreams or planning ahead. And with that, we'll start a physical practice. And try, if you like, to continue the Ujjayi breath, the Drishti, and the root lock, the Mula Bandha, throughout the practice, if you find it comfortable. And if not, then just go with the flow and just observe, whatever unfolds. So we'll come to the top of the mat, Samastiti. Hands down, pushing the feet down, tilting the pelvis back and forth until you have, end to the sides and rotational, until you feel you have a good middle way. And the same with your chest. It's not flared open or, bent forward, curled in, but somewhere in between, balancing on top of your pelvis. And then shoulders are just relaxed and the head is balancing on top of the neutral spine curves. And then we'll start. Inhale, arms up. Breathing in to 4. Exhale, breathing out to 4. Inhale, looking forward. Breathing into your back. Exhale, stepping right foot back, coming to high lunge. 5 breaths here. See if you can spread the weight out between your left foot and the right foot, bending the left knee so that you become parallel to the floor. Straightening your right knee, so it's not like this, but straight. So you're scissoring the feet away from each other and then pull the feet towards each other. So you create this stability at your center. And the root lock, the Mula Bandha, is being pulled up. And also the belly button in, so you're having strength. If you want to add something to this, bringing your hands up. 2 more breaths. From here, doing a slight back bend. Opening the chest, staying firm and grounded with both the feet. And then arms down, stepping back to high plank, pushing down into the ground. The heels are pushing back, tailbone down, and really protracting the shoulder blades. So they're not like this, but like this. You're pushing them away from each other. And the sternum and the top of the head is coming forward, and then the heels coming back. So it's a strong posture. And from here, choose if you want the knees down or up, and then coming down through chaturanga all the way to the belly, turning the feet around. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. So I'm doing cobra now, pushing the feet down, lifting the knees up, elbows in and back, opening and broadening the chest. 4-4 breathing. Keep exploring and using the breath to move the body and to create space. Does it matter how you're tilting your shoulder blades, for how your shoulders are positioned? How much is the tailbone tilted in? Lifting the back head. And breathe in and out. And you know you have the tapas here, discipline to push yourself up towards your boundary, but not past it, because we have ahimsa with us too. Non-violence. And from here, pushing up to upward facing dog, if you're not already there. Really exploring how you can open and broaden the collarbones without trying too hard, you know? Non-effortlessly moving. And see if you can also lengthen the neck, but without having too much of an extension of the neck, you know, like this. But just a comfortable extension. And from here, curling the toes under, pushing back into downward facing dog. Bending the right knee, and then the left, back and forth, walking the dog from side to side here. And at any time, come down to child's pose, knees out, feet in, and then coming down. I like to put the outside of my pinky fingers down for a nice stretch at the triceps too. And when you're here, connecting with the Ujjayi breath, 4-4 breathing with sound, the drishti, the gaze, and the root lock, the mula bandha, lifting the pelvic floor a tiny bit. For focus and peace. And then coming back up again, downward facing dog. Coming up on the tippy toes. If you'd like, jump a bit forward or just step forward. Whatever feels right for you. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to let go. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. One more round. Inhale, arms up. To 4. Exhale, counting to 4. Inhale, lengthen to 4. Exhale, stepping the left foot back to a high lunge. Again, spreading the weight between your right and left foot. First imagining that you're scissoring them away from each other and then melting them together, both towards the midline and then the feet towards each other. And the right knee is bent so much that the thighs parallel to the floor. Make sure the knee is not too far crossed over the ankle. And then you have a straight left knee. You can stay here, hands to center of the heart, or all the way up. 4 breathing. Drishti somewhere in front of you. Not too far out in the room, but within the nearest half meter or so. Or even closer. And a slight back bend without the right hip coming too much up. And then coming forward, high plank, pushing down into the earth. Continuing the breathing. Root lock, drishti. Heels back, head forward. And then lowering down to the belly. Turning the feet around, elbows back. Inhale to cobra pose. Pushing the feet, the top of the feet down so much that the knees are coming up. For breathing. And it's not about, pushing yourself too much up here. It's about finding that length and strength from the core. What happens if you do a tiny movement? Relaxing the throat, breathing into the back, lifting the belly button, lifting the back of your head, pulling the shoulders back, broadening the collarbones. For 5, 4, 3, 2, drishti, 2, root lock, mula bandha, 2, 1. Pushing down to upward facing dog. Breathing into the back. Letting go at the exhale. Staying with your breath, drishti, and root lock. And then coming back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Now stepping your right foot across to the top of the mat for a pigeon pose. So my left toes are pointing down and I'm supporting with my hands so that not all the weight is coming down to the hip joints immediately. And see if you can push down into the arms so much that you can open and have a slight back bend here. Lifting the top of your head up, so not like this, but like this. And breathing into the back and also to the pelvis. So you're feeling how your diaphragm is being drawn down on the inhale. Actually increasing the pressure in the belly, and that pressure can be felt at the root lock, at the pelvic floor. So being in touch with your own body and how the breath changes your body. If you'd like, walk the hands forward, slowly, slowly. And this is supposed to feel comfortable. We keep the previous yoga philosophy with us, amongst others, ahimsa, non-violence. So don't hurt your joints. If you do so, then step back and try something new again and again and again. So you're exploring up to your boundaries, but never past them, And keep breathing. And keep focusing near you, using drishti, the gaze, as a conscious tool to stay present. And if you remember and want to, remembering the root lock, Mula Bandha. Now walking the hands up again. Placing the hands down, curling the left toe under, lifting the right foot up in the air. And then forward to the right elbow, back again, three-leg dog. Knee to the left elbow, and back again. Knee to the right elbow. And if you want to have a bit of fun and feel comfortable, then you can try this arm balance. So we're bending the elbows, placing the right knee on top of the right elbow for arm balance. Don't do it if you don't want to, or if something feels uncomfortable or wrong or hurts, and do it with your breath. Then back to Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Stepping the left foot across on the top of your mat. The right foot pivots around so that the toes come down. Resting the hands to the ground so that you can take some weight off into your hands. And see if that weight from the body through the arms can contribute to opening the chest a little bit. Continuing with the breath. the drishti, the gaze, and the mula bandha. And when you're ready, walking the hands forward. And then back again. Placing the hands on the top of the mat, curling the right toe under, preparing for a three-leg dog. Left knee to left elbow. And back. Left knee to right elbow. And back. And if you'd like to do the arm balance with your breath and ahimsa in focus, but also, tapas, pushing yourself and not being scared to sweat a little bit, and bringing the left knee to the left elbow, bending the elbows, and then coming in for a nice arm balance. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. So stepping forward in between the hands. So this is really good if you want to work your core, to try to walk through the hands, pushing down into the hands, and then lifting the feet. Ooh. Okay. Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Hands can stay here, around the big toes, or all the way around the feet, if that's available for you. Feel free to sit on a bolster or a book or something too, just to get that little tilt of the pelvis to make it more available. You're not supposed to be here and struggling with the neck and shoulders to reach forward. It's all about working the pelvic tilt and the hamstrings. Drishti, breath, Mula Bandha. Great, look up, coming down on your back. We'll do half bridge or full bridge whenever you're ready. So you're supposed to be able to touch your heels. Feet are pointing forward, hip distance apart. And when you're ready, just push down into the feet to come up. Or if you'd like, going in for full bridge, placing the hands next to your ears. Fingers are pointing towards your feet. Elbows up, and make sure that the hands are not too narrow, but shoulder distance apart at least. And then using the breath to move. The breath decides how far you'll go. pushing into all the points that are touching the ground, the feet and the hands. Breathing into all corners of your body, your Ujjayi breath. And when you're ready, slowly coming all the way down, grabbing around your knees, giving yourself a nice hug. And then we're ready for Shavasana. I'm grabbing a blanket. If it's cold where you are, put on a jumper or something warm. Walking the shoulder blades beneath yourself so that they're flat, palms facing up. Adjusting a few times before you let go completely. No need to control the breath, the thoughts, no nothing, no control. Just tuning in to the space within your body. Deeper, deeper within, towards the atoms and the empty space within them again. Letting the practice heal your body. When you're ready, coming back to the room or space you're in, wiggling the toes and hands. Feeling your body and lips and soft palate. And even the small tubes between your nose and the eyes. And the sinuses. Breathing in, opening, creating space. When you're ready, coming up to a seated position. So remember to enjoy the space in between where you are and where you're going. And that includes the transitions in yoga, you know. Okay, I'm moving up. I know that. I've told my body to move up, but try to see if you can be present in the space between now and when you're seated. Feeling the breath, feeling the change, observing the light. So placing the hands together at the front of the chest. The right hand is hugging the left and the left is hugging the right. Not too much, not too little. And the thumbs are pressing the sternum. Coming back to our intention, tapas, discipline, making those sometimes uncomfortable or tough and brave choices throughout the everyday that support our body. And I encourage to practice more yoga this week if you have the chance. There's lots more sessions online on the Tiril Yoga platform. Meditations, breath work, slow movement, high pace. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.